In the year 1900, a team of Greek sponge divers sailing through the Aegean Sea were caught in a violent and terrifying storm. They were forced to take shelter near the tiny remote island of Antikythera, waiting for the turbulent waters to calm down before they could continue their journey. The next day, one of the divers, Elias Adiatis, decided to explore the seafloor and made a discovery that would forever change our understanding of the ancient world. Lying 45 meters below the surface was the wreckage of a massive ancient Roman cargo ship, a treasure vessel that had sunk there over 2,000 years ago. The divers began a perilous recovery mission, bringing up stunning bronze and marble statues, jewelry, coins, and other priceless artifacts from the deep. Among the treasures, they found a corroded, rock-like lump of bronze, about the size of a large book, which was initially dismissed as an unimportant curiosity. This unassuming lump was sent to the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, where it sat for 2 years, slowly drying out and being forgotten by the curators. Then, in 1902, the lump of bronze spontaneously cracked open, revealing something that was utterly impossible to the archaeologists who saw it. Inside the corroded casing were the faint outlines of incredibly complex, interlocking gears and precision-engineered toothed wheels, something that looked like the inside of a clock. The problem was that clocks like this would not be invented for another 1,500 years. So what was this impossible machine doing in an ancient Roman shipwreck? This single, baffling object, which came to be known as the Antikythera Mechanism, posed one of the greatest technological mysteries in all of human history. For decades, the mechanism remained an enigma, with most scholars unable to explain its existence, some even suggesting it was a later object that had fallen onto the wreck. It was a piece of technology that was completely anachronistic, meaning it appeared in a time period where it simply should not exist, defying the known laws of history. The corroded and fragmented state of the device made it almost impossible to study, with its delicate inner workings fused together by centuries of saltwater exposure. It wasn't until the 1950s that a brilliant historian of science from Yale University, Derek J. de Sala Price, became obsessed with solving its puzzle. Price dedicated over 2 decades of his life to painstakingly examining the 82 fragments of the mechanism, realizing it was far more complex than anyone had imagined. In a pioneering move, he convinced the museum to let him use gamma rays and X-rays to peer inside the corroded bronze for the very first time. The X-ray images revealed a shocking level of complexity, a sophisticated system of at least 30 distinct gears arranged in a mind-bogglingly intricate way. Price slowly began to map the gear trains, noticing that the numbers of teeth on the gears corresponded to astronomical cycles known to the ancient Greeks. In 1974, he published a bombshell paper in the journal Scientific American, where he confidently declared the device to be an ancient analog computer. He argued that this 2,000-year-old machine was used to calculate the movements of the sun, the moon, and the stars, a portable mechanical cosmos. The scientific community was initially very skeptical, as Price's claims were extraordinary, suggesting a level of mechanical genius in the ancient world that was thought to be impossible. The mystery deepened for another 30 years, until the early 2000s, when a new international team of scientists decided to solve it once and for all. This new team, called the Antikythera Mechanism Research Project, came armed with cutting-edge technology that Derek Price could have only dreamed of. They used a custom-built 8-ton X-ray machine to perform high-resolution computed tomography, essentially a CT scan on all the surviving fragments. This technique allowed them to see the inner workings of the mechanism in 3-dimensional detail, revealing every single tooth of every single gear. They also used a technology called polynomial texture mapping, which allowed them to read the faint, almost invisible Greek inscriptions covering the device's surfaces. These 2 technologies finally unlocked the secrets of the Antikythera mechanism, and what they found was more incredible than anyone had ever imagined. The team confirmed that the front dial of the device was indeed a calendar of the sky, showing the position of the sun and the moon against the zodiac constellations. The level of precision was astonishing, as the mechanism even modeled the subtle variations in the moon's orbit using a clever pin and slot system to vary its speed. This complex feature, known as the first lunar anomaly, was a level of mechanical engineering that was not thought to have existed until 1,000 years later. The back of the device was even more complex, featuring 2 large spiral dials that revealed the true genius of its creators. The upper back dial was a 19-year calendar based on the Metonic cycle, a system used by the ancient Greeks to keep their lunar and solar calendars in sync. This dial allowed the user to see the relationship between calendar months and the phases of the moon over a very long period of time. The lower back dial was an eclipse prediction device, a spiral chart that laid out the Saros cycle, a period of roughly 18 years used to predict eclipses. This spiral dial had glyphs that predicted not only the month of an upcoming solar or lunar eclipse, but possibly even the expected color and the hour. For decades, scientists believed this was the full extent of the mechanism's functions, which was already revolutionary for its time. But the new scans revealed something even more mind-blowing. The device also modeled the movements of the 5 planets that were known to the ancient Greeks. It tracked the complex motions of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn using an ingenious system of epicyclic gearing, a theory of nested circles. This confirmed that the Antikythera Mechanism was not just a simple calendar, but a complete mechanical model of the entire known universe as the Greeks saw it. It was a sophisticated bronze and wood computer that could predict the future positions of celestial objects with remarkable and stunning accuracy. And as if that wasn't enough, the researchers made one more charming discovery hidden within the complex dials of the machine. They found a smaller secondary dial on the back that did not track a celestial cycle, but a human one, the 4-year cycle of the ancient Olympic Games. This small dial showed which years the major Pan-Hellenic Games were to be held, including the famous games at Olympia, as well as others at Corinth, Nemea, and Delphi. This discovery was profound because it connected this highly complex scientific instrument directly to the cultural and social life of the ancient Greek world. It showed that the mechanism was not just for astronomers, but was likely a device of great public interest, linking the heavens with life on Earth. The question of what the device did was finally answered, but this only opened up even deeper and more profound mysteries about its existence. The first and most obvious question is, who on earth had the genius to design and build such a complex and sophisticated machine 2,000 years ago? The inscriptions on the device point to a possible origin in Corinth or perhaps Syracuse, a Greek colony in Sicily that was home to the legendary Archimedes. Archimedes was a brilliant mathematician and engineer, and ancient texts mention that he created a bronze sphere that showed the movements of the heavens. While the mechanism is not thought to be the work of Archimedes himself, as it was built a century after his death, it likely came from a workshop that followed his tradition. Another leading candidate for its design is the great astronomer Hipparchus, who lived around the same time and did foundational work on eclipse prediction. The second great mystery is why this machine was on that specific ship, which was a Roman vessel, not a Greek one. The ship was filled with plundered Greek treasures, likely being transported to Rome to be displayed in a triumphal parade for a wealthy general, perhaps even Julius Caesar. This suggests the mechanism was not a common tool but a luxury item, a masterpiece of Greek art and science being taken as a spoil of war. This leads to the third and perhaps the most profound mystery of all. Why did this incredible technology completely disappear from the world? The level of mechanical engineering seen in the Antikythera Mechanism would not be seen again in Europe for over 1500 years, until the great astronomical clocks of the medieval cathedrals. It's as if a highly advanced piece of technology was invented, and then the knowledge of how to build it was completely and totally lost to history. Was this a closely guarded secret, known only to a handful of master craftsmen whose knowledge died with them in the ancient world? Or was this type of device more common than we think, with others simply lost to time, melted down for their bronze, or lying undiscovered in other shipwrecks? The Antikythera Mechanism forces us to completely reevaluate our perception of the ancient world and the linear progression of technology. It proves that history is not a simple, straight line of constant improvement, but a complex story where incredible knowledge can be gained and then completely forgotten. It is a humbling reminder that the people of the ancient world were not primitive, but were capable of a level of genius that can still rival our own. The device acts as a stunning mechanical testament to the brilliance of ancient Greek astronomy and mathematics, a physical embodiment of their theories. It shows us that 2,000 years ago, a group of unknown craftsmen were able to build a machine so complex, it took modern science a century and advanced computers to fully understand it. The Antikythera Mechanism is far more than just a collection of gears. It is a window into a lost world of incredible sophistication and forgotten genius. It is a tangible connection to the minds of ancient astronomers, who looked up at the same sky we see today and sought to replicate its beautiful, cosmic dance in bronze. The ancient Greeks didn't just give us philosophy, democracy, and theater. It turns out they also gave us the world's first computer. What other incredible lost technologies do you think are still waiting to be rediscovered from the ancient world, buried in the sand or lost beneath the waves? Share your own thoughts and theories in the comments section below, and let's continue our journey into the most mind-blowing facts of history.